Okay, welcome to part 2 of repairing a door and fitting a door skin on how Matthew Green does it. Not saying it's the correct way, but it's the way I'm going to do it. So, our pattern panels arrived. You can see part numbers there. These are Magnum ones. I'm not too sure if they're genuine ones or other machine may make some as well. But I've used these before, so I'm just going to go again. They seem to fit really well. There is a driver's and passenger side panel. I can't really tell any difference to them, but I ordered them anyway because I've tried to put them next to each other and they really don't look any different. But anyway, we'll stick with what we've got. So, bottom edge here is all gone. Depending on how far you're gone, you can get different panels. You can get a slightly smaller panel, which is just this strip around the edge here and the lip. So if yours has only just gone a little bit, maybe that's the best thing to do. Mine's gone right onto the corner here, even wraps round to the edges here. So it was worth getting the whole panel. So that's good. Not as bad as someone on the edge here, as I've done before. So what I like to do is try and get this clamped in the best I can onto these curves and making sure that this edge is flush with whatever's left there. And then what I'll do is I'll run along with a 1mm disc cutter along this edge here where this lip is. Along this lip, because I found, in my opinion, that's why I found easiest to join it last time, because I was able to weld along here and it's nice and high, you can easily grind it off. And on the back you can just run a bit of sealant if you need to or want to. I do normally. So yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. As I said, I might come around the corner a little bit. So yeah, this is sort of the hardest part, is actually deciding where to cut and what to do. So as I said, so once you've cut down with a mill, you've got a mill gap, but because this is sitting higher anyway, it just drops down nicely into the right place. So hang on, let me think, and then we'll crack on. Alright, what I'm just trying to do there is just trim a bit of the excess stuff off that we know is going to get blown away, just to help this fit a little bit nicer, just for testing. So yeah, got some of these pincer things, well worth getting. And what I'm going to try and do is get this clamped on, fitting how I think it should, and then as I said, we can think about running down with a disc cutter. So let's have a go at that. Okay, I've got that clamped on. Let me just try and show you the other side. Not that there's very much to see, but yeah, so I've just got that clamped on so it matches the ridge, and so this is flush with whatever's left of that surface on the bottom. So yes, I know this technically, this panel that I'm just adding is slightly in the wrong position for what it is at the moment. But once I've cut down with a 1mm disc, it will drop down by 1mm at least. And then also, the key thing is to actually get a matching line. So once I've actually got the nice cut line along there, if I have to run along with a soft pad just to take half a mil off all the way along, that's easy enough to do with just a thing. So the key thing is I've managed to cut the two panels in one go so they match technically. So again, this is the way I do it. Maybe it's not the right way, but it's the way I do it. And at the end of the video you can see if it's worked or not, if I've thrown it all in the bin. Okay, let's get the cutter on. Alright, giving up trying to use the clamps to actually hold that back on. Again, there you go, so I've trimmed that. And it's just come down enough. Not too bad to meet both the corners at either end. So that's good. So yeah, not the ideal way. You could have put a bit of masking tape maybe to get a nice straighter line. I didn't, obviously, but in reality in the practical terms of things, as long as the line it matches both sides on both panels, you can weld them up. It's not a problem. You know, it could be as pissed as you a gnat's fart, but so yeah, that's good. Maybe just a little bit grounded in the end there. So what we can do is we can clean that up and get that tacked on, because then that will then help us build up the rest of these corners that have gone missing. So let's clean that up and get it tacked on. Alright, I'll just clean those edges up. I've just given the door a slight pressing with my foot, because it had looked like it had a slight bend in it. Hang on a sec. Sorry, the sister's texting me. So yeah, had a slight bend in it. So that's much better now. Just needed a little bit of tweaking. So what I want to do is get this tacked on, because then what we can go do is get the door skin. Just double check the door skin looks good. And best to try and do that as often as you can, just to keep an eye on things. Make sure things aren't going too far out of kilter. So yeah, we'll get a couple of tacks on that, and that'll be good. And then we can start rebuilding the corners, which is a bit of a faffy job. And then we'll see what else needs repairing on this jalopy. Cheers. Okay, I've just got some simple tacks on it, not too many. I already feel the door being stronger now, there's no rust on that side. So what I'm going to just do is go get the door skin, just so we can do a quick double check before we go too far. But yeah, that's tacked on. Just needs pretty much flush. Again, you can get proper clamps and do this. Again, my method when I'm rushing is just to use my finger, feel it flat, get some tack welds on it. Again, it's a door frame, it's all going to be on a door card under that, or just on the edge, and it's near the bottom of the door. As long as the door fits and all looks nice, that would be fine for me. But yeah, if you want to put clamps on there, get it perfectly flush, be my guess, it's the same thing. So yeah, let's go get the door skin. Okay, we've got the door skin. Keep saying door skin, keep thinking of something else. Anyway, so let me just pop this on. Obviously not properly, but I just want to make sure the panel is not getting too far out of line. A little hole down here already where the handle screws through, so that always gives you a good indication of where that corner and that point could be. Obviously assuming they've drilled the holes right, but you're thinking these are heritage, so you've got to be looking hopeful. So I'm just checking. What I'm checking is just the height here, because of this lip along here that's holding, this controls where it is along the door and how far up it comes. But obviously by looking at the screw hole, I know it's pretty damn close, so that's good. So that's good. So yeah, that's showing me that it's nearly pretty much in the right place. So that's good. Just turn it around. Let's have a look at the other side. Obviously remember not to try and damage the door skin too much. So yeah, I can just check here. As I said, I think this side comes up slightly higher, so what I might do is just take a little bit off this lip, this edge, just to drop it down a little bit, just a fraction, only needs half a mil, not even that. So yeah, that's good. And then what we do later is I'll show you when I make the corners up, what I do about the corners. So yeah, let's get some proper welds on that and get this a bit more flusher, and then we can start on the corners. Obviously I'm doing it up against a wall. Obviously if you had it on a nice flat bench, a lot of this job would be a hell of a lot easier. But I'm trying to demonstrate that actually you can do this in the side of a garage if you have to. As always, perfect world, buy new doors, perfect world, you'd have all the equipment, loads of room on the benches. But you know, life's not always like that. So yeah, let's get this welded up and then we can get it ground off. So what I've just done is just try and increase all my tacks now, put a few more on, and then what I can do is now weld but sort of weld randomly to try and keep the heat down a little bit. Just my attempt to keep the heat down in the whole panel, so we can just jump about a bit and get it all welded up all the way along. Right, that's that bit welded along there. Not the prettiest, but I went along quite a high heat, so I got good penetration, but blew a couple of holes, but just filled them back up with a lower heat. So yeah, let's clean that off and see what it actually really looks like. Okay, that's enough grinding for tonight. Wife just threw things at my window because she couldn't hear me. I thought things were falling down, so must get like a big siren or a big light to let her know for me to just be quiet. Alright, so that's ground down. I'll go across with a slightly softer pad later, and if we're really bothered, I think I did on my last one, I'll put a little bit of filler in those just to really hide some of it up a little bit, make it a bit smoother. But yeah, not going to have time to do the corner pieces this time. That's going to be in part 3. But it's definitely not as bad as the last ones I did. My last ones went right around the corner, so you can see here that we've just got to fill this in, join it up around the outside. We'll use some of the leftover panel that we cut off for that. Might as well reuse a lot of it. And then we just need to then look at the hinge panel next after that for this door. Sometimes you don't need to, depending on your door. And then we can get to the final stage, which will be putting the skin back on. But I'm just going to get a bit of etch prime on this, because it just makes it look so much better. Lovely. Just turn it around, see what it looks like from the other side. I might not put any etch prime. Well, I might just put a little bit of etch prime on it. I don't know if you can see that. Let's just drop the camera a bit automatically. Look at that. So yeah, really not much penetrated through to that. Well, you know, no welds. So yeah, I'll just get a little bit of etch prime on that just to stop the rust coming back through. But I'll grind it off a bit later, next time I'm out here, when I'm allowed to make some noise. And then yeah, I'll just run a bit of sealant along that when I come to seal the door. Yeah, I will clean all that off properly next time. I'm just doing that for now. Alright, until part 3. Hope that was some entertainment and helpful for somebody.